Hey everybody, welcome back to Airsoftology Mondays, the show that answers your questions, helps you out in a pinch, and has no idea what his shirt says. And that's scary. It probably says Dumb American. I'm your host, Jonathan Higgs, and yeah, actually it's the new Nola Gay shirt. It's actually really cool. I'm sure it says something about grenades or something like that. If you guys know exactly what it says, I mean, no playing around either, put it in the comments below. I'm kind of curious to see what it says. Anyway, welcome back to the show. Thank you for being cool last week with my technical difficulties and not getting the show up, but we are back with another big beefy episode of Airsoftology. But before we get started, I have some updates. First off, shameless self-promotion here. Got patches in the store, got just a few left. Okay, these half sold already in like a week and a half or 2 weeks since they've come up. They're already half gone, it's crazy. These, I think I got like 25 left. So they are, I mean, they will be gone this week, guaranteed. I mean, the way we sell through them. And then I've got the logo patches back on the restock. All $8, all shipped worldwide for free. So if you guys have been holding out for those, definitely now is the time to jump on those. Also coming up, I've got two big kind of things going. First, a contest with Fox Airsoft. Now this is, if you guys remember, maybe about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I did a review on the Fox Airsoft ICS, their combo. It's a SPR rifle and a PDW. So you get like 2 uppers. It's a really cool setup. I'll put a link to the actual review video below. Well, what they're doing now is they're giving one of those away. So if you guys have not signed up for the Fox contest for this round, you definitely want to do it. I'll have a link right here on the screen and also below so you guys can go check that out. And like I said, I'll have a link over to that review if you guys want to watch the review of the gun that you could win. And one more thing before we get into the questions, because we're going to jump right on in after this. The last one is I'm going to be at Thunder Kiss Northwest on September 24th. That's this weekend, this Saturday, from 11 till 1 in the afternoon. So just kind of like a couple hour little meet and greet for hanging out. I'm in the area. I'm in Portland area, and I'll be hanging out all week up there. And I definitely want to come by and meet you guys. So on Saturday, 11 to 1, Thunder Kiss, come hang out with me. Come by the shop and chill. Oh, and this week I do have a custom gun video, one they built special for me. I'm kind of doing a little showcase video on it. If you guys want to see it, I will bring it with me. It's this really cool high-end DMR. It's been like custom painted for Airsoftology. Super cool stuff. So I will see you guys all there. Okay, now that we got the announcements and a little shameless self-promotion there out of the way, it's time to jump on into what you're really here for, and that is your questions in the Palco mail call. JB and Shoots02 writes, Jonathan, I tried to swap out the inner barrel of my Elite Force Next Gen CQB, but the bucking didn't come out. Made sure the hop-up was off, but that darn bucking was wedged in the hop-up chamber. Is there any explanation to this? Actually, it happens quite often. If you've got a really well-sealed hop-up chamber, a really tight one, typically some of the Elite Force, which are the VFC, and then some of the next gens, which are Aries, they're actually pretty tight. Aries are, and as well as KWA and Crytek also have pretty tight hop-up chambers for buckings. They can leave the bucking inside the hop-up chamber. So you got the metal or plastic hop-up chamber, you pull your barrel out, wanting to change that bucking or something like that, and then the rubber bucking just stays inside the barrels here, and you're like, well, great. So simple fix, super common. I get a pair of needle nose pliers. Try to get ones that aren't like with all the little teeth at the end, little grooves, because you'll kind of do it. Grab toward the top of the bucking or the bottom, either way, but it's just the front. You don't want to go too deep in there. That part just seals around the barrel. So to be able to grab that and pull it out, it's not going to cause you damage. You go all the way in there and grab the back. That's where those lips are, and the nub, you can cause some damage. So just grab the edge of it, you know, maybe 3 millimeters or so, maybe 4. Grab it with those needle nose pliers and just slowly walk it on back. Being it tight to put it back in there, you're probably gonna need to put a little lube on the outside. Same thing, I'm gonna put a little lubrication on the outside of the bucking, but stay away from the part that will go to where the BBs is. So like what I call the lips, the part where it flares down, that's on the end of the barrel. You want to put a little lube on the outside of the bucking. Only the outside of the bucking, not the inside of the bucking where it touches the barrel. So that's what you're going to have. Probably a little challenge getting it back in, especially like I said with Aries, KWA, some other brands like that. Like I said, the next gens are Aries made. So that's kind of my advice to you. Don't worry, it happens to me all the time. I'd say 1 out of every 2 or 3 buckings I end up changing, the bucking just wants to stay inside of there. Philip the Cone writes, question, would you prefer to be taller or shorter than your opponent in an airsoft fight? You know, I think both have their advantages and disadvantages. I'm relatively tall, I'm 6 foot tall, so I have the advantage of being able to kind of see over some cover that some people may not be able to, and if we're trying to climb to a second floor, especially like in milsim ops, it gives me that advantage to be a little taller where I don't need a boost. That said, shorter players do have an advantage because you are a smaller target. Also, you can move easier around low cover where I can only crouch so far before it gets kind of awkward and I've got to kind of like army crawl it. Shorter players have the advantage to get down even a couple extra inches. Makes a big difference if you're trying to move around low bunkers and not take rounds. So there are pros and cons for both. Personally, if I had a choice, I think the smaller and faster is gonna be your better way. So that's just my 2 cents, because I'd rather have the ability to move low and fast versus tall and high. But again, that's me. I'm 6 foot tall. I'm, probably want something I don't have. Caesar the Skater writes, what is your dream secondary? So secondary being not your primary gun, which would be like your AAG, your rifle you're carrying with you, but your secondary, your backup gun that comes with it. I would say for me, I'm a big pistol fan just because I like the maneuverability, but I think an auto pistol, if the field allows full auto, is my dream secondary. But something with a lot of ammunition. I used to really think if there was something with a little higher rate of fire, like the old Marui AEPs, the auto electric pistols, like they had the Scorpion, they had that Glock 18 that was electric battery powered, and then they moved up to the MP7, which is a little bigger than what I would like. But yeah, I think a nice electric, something semi and full auto capable with a decent little like high capacity magazine or something that holds at least a few hundred rounds would be perfect. So I think like that Marui Scorpion kind of would be like my dream perfect with just a little bit higher rate of fire. Like, so do all the upgrades. I used to have a bunch of upgrades for them. As a backup, I would probably say some kind of full auto gas blowback pistol with an extended magazine would be a pretty good second one, like an extended G series gun or something along the lines of one of the new pistols that came out. I've actually been having fun with it here, and I got a review coming down the road. The new full auto Beretta from Elite Force is actually pretty neat. Avery Anchor writes, hey Jonathan, I love the show. I was wondering what your opinion was on using hunting camo in Airsoft. Actually, hunting camo is a pretty good option. I know a lot of people kind of look down on it, or like some of the eliter players, the elitists will be like, oh, it's not military camo. But considering that you buy hunting camo for the area you play in, it's typically the correct camo for the woods you're in. I have been shot many a time by a player that I kind of glanced right over that was in hunting camo, like a really good setup, like one of those leaf suits, a little bit of a headgear on that. I think hunting camo is a pretty solid option. To be honest, anything you wear on the field works, and if it works, it's not dumb, right? So hunting camo, if it's effective in your play area, man, wear the heck out of it, use it, and use it to sneak up on your opponents. Feral Farrier writes, hey John, are your mains dank enough? Danker than you know. Maxwell Airsoft writes, Prometheus or Mad Bull tightbore? Mad Bull is a good budget option for a tightbore barrel, but if you've got the money, man, Prometheus is it. I mean, hands down, my experience, I've owned like 4 or 5 or 6 different Prometheus barrels. I've had a couple of Mad Bulls, they've kind of come and gone, but I've always hung onto my Prometheus. Those are the ones that like come out of the gun when I go to sell it and put the stock barrel back in or something else back in there to get rid of it. They are just such an awesome barrel. In fact, good news is I've seen that Crytek is gonna be bringing in Prometheus barrels. They've partnered with Prometheus. Actually, Prometheus distributes their guns in Japan, and they're actually bringing Prometheus barrels under the Crytek name into the US, and they're gonna be selling them specifically perfect links for all their Crytek rifles. So that I'm pretty darn excited for, because Crytek's are pretty awesome guns, and then just to add that Prometheus barrel is just perfect. So enough of me fanboying. I would definitely say if you have the funds and you can spend the money, they're not cheap, the Prometheus barrel is definitely the way to go. All right, guys, that's it for questions this week, which means it is time for the Code Red Headsets video recommendation of the week. And this one comes from, hang on, Razvan Vasilu, and he said last time I didn't slaughter his name so bad. I'm going to try to start recommending videos that you guys are recommending. So if you guys do have a video, by the way, put it in the comment section below. And this is one I kind of forgot about. This is from Corridor Digital. Actually, I know the guys, great group of guys, do some amazing work. I was able to do some stuff with their Node channel, which is kind of a spin-off of the Corridor channel with Nico and Sam. This one comes from a couple years ago. In fact, actually 3 years ago, a little over it, is a first person versus third person. It's a Splinter Cell blackout kind of fan film. I think Ubisoft worked with them, or they did it on their own to kind of do homage to the Splinter Cell event. I really like what they've done with the first person views versus the third person in this, and it's kind of the mercs versus contractors. Really cool setup video. In fact, these are a lot of these videos that if you don't go deep in a lot of these channels' catalogs, there's some great stuff out there. So if you guys haven't checked it out, definitely take a look at First Person versus Third Person by Corridor Digital. I'm sure you already subscribed. They have over 4 million subscribers over there, but if not, definitely mash that subscribe button. They put out some really, Very well made stuff. And again, thank you, Rush, to get this thing done. And if you guys, again, remember, want to get a recommendation, put it in the comment section below, and I'll keep looking for great video recommendations of the week. Well, guys, that's it for this Mondays. As always, thank you so much for hanging out here with me and asking some awesome questions and being such a cool community down there, helping each other out in the comment section. And remember, that's how you get your question on the show. Put it in the comment section below this video and vote up your favorite ones. I do dig deep. I read all the comments. Unfortunately, I just can't answer them all every week, but I do read every single one every single week right before the next show. So make sure you get it in within the week and we'll get it going. Don't forget, I will see you guys if you're in the Washington or Portland area. I'll see you guys this coming weekend. It'll be fun right before I film, actually on Mondays. It'll be good. Maybe I can get some questions from you guys live on the show there. Who knows? But until then, go out, play some Airsoft, have some fun. But no matter what you do, call your freaking hits.